Favorite Thanksgiving side dish? Go.
Go. Gosh, I got to go with
Now I'm putting you on the spot here.
cream corn.
Cream corn.
Cream corn. My Aunt Gladys used to make it. It was to die for. And if I had the recipe for that, I would make it. But unfortunately, I don't have the
You
recipe.
don't have that one, huh?
I don't have that one. Yours?
Probably green bean casserole.
All right.
Maybe for all the different reasons.
Okay.
Because I don't need Aunt Gladys's recipe. It's
No,
something
you don't.
that like I can actually make because they put it like right on the back of the soup can.
Right
or
on the
whatever.
back of the cream of mushroom soup can.
It's something that anybody can make and it's delicious.
All right.
I like
Cranberries?
No,
No. No, I'm not a cranberry guy.
not necessary. Gravy.
No, not out of that can.
Gravy.
All right, gravy.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving,
Yes!
everybody out there.
Heck yes.
If you're tuning in to Extra Points on your Thanksgiving week, more power to you. And we hope you have a good meal. And we'll talk some sports here to get you through a couple of your days off.
If the turkey doesn't put you to sleep, we will.
That's a promise.
That's a promise.
That's a promise. That's this week's episode of Extra Points. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's Extra Points. That's John Barry. I'm Eric Schmoldt. I realized I could have gone with venison sausage.
Ooh,
that means
little
not
BS.
have to have some venison.
That
in the
means you would have
freezer.
actually hit a deer,
Yes.
not with your car.
Yeah, didn't do that, but hopefully you had some better luck. Well, I was away. There's some basketball that started. The
There
boys'
is.
basketball is getting underway this week.
It is.
The Badgers are out in Hawaii, where we all probably wish we were.
Oof, man.
And the Packers are still in turmoil. So
Packers are in La La Land.
plenty to get to. And you want to just start on the high school scene?
Okay, all right.
Your first impressions, you had a chance to see Parker 2 times now, and I got a chance to see Craig once. Kind of hard to take a whole lot away from the first week, but
Right.
I guess anything that's just kind of caught your eye.
I think with the
first
Parker
week.
girls, lot to work on. I think they'll be a better team by the end of the year, but right now they're kind of Julia Hartwig and everybody else, and they've got to figure out some things, whether it's chemistry-wise or whatever it might be, but till they can learn to take care of the basketball, it could be a long season, because I think 45 turnovers in 2 games, and a lot of that is the inexperience in the backcourt, which is understandable, and I think those kids are going to get better, but really, I think in the post, they've got to get more than just Julia. Another great outing for her against Verona, the defending state champs. 13 points, 18 rebounds, 3 blocks, but she can't do it all. And she's got to get some help. And I think, as the year goes on, the Vikes will get better, but they've got to find some scoring other than her. And
Kind of what we talked about last
Exactly,
week.
yep.
Probably the same thing for Craig, too.
Yep.
Some early, they lost a tough one at Edgewood where they kind of went
cold.
cold
Yeah.
for 10 minutes.
Yep.
And we talked about they might have stretches like that just with so many newcomers in the lineup. And so, not completely unexpected. You wish it wouldn't be 10 minutes, but
No.
it happens. They bounce back with a big, easy win kind of at La Follette. And we'll get a chance. They could play at East the night that we're filming this. And that, that'll be kind of set the bar, I guess.
It will,
because
'cause
East and Sun Prairie went toe-to-toe, and
Yep.
I think Sun Prairie won in double overtime
Yep.
in the first game. These are kind of the teams that everybody kind of expects to be the top contender to Middleton, which I think is the favorite going into the season. And so you maybe get an early season glimpse of where those things stand.
Verona, even though they're defending state champs, I can tell you this right now, Verona will not repeat as state champion. I can tell you that. Alex Luring's a nice player, headed to Green Bay, but Verona, really lost a lot. And obviously when you lose a couple of D1 kids and a D2 kid, you're gonna be in that rebuilding stage, but not the Verona team you're accustomed to. Parker was right there with them, and I think Middleton is certainly the class of the Big 8, but like you said, time will tell, and if shots aren't falling in, I think they're certainly capable of being upset, so we'll see what happens.
That's kind of the early scene. Not a ton of area games to really
No.
even get a girl grasp on.
No.
So maybe we'll just talk a little bit of boys hoops here to kind of get the season preview started. I guess we'll start here in town. I had a chance to visit with Mike Miller before I left for hunting over at Craig, and a team that ranked in the top 10.
Number 9 or number 10,
started,
I think, yeah.
Start the season, and a team that has a lot of experience back, a lot of talent back, and I think just has to go out and prove that they can go toe-to-toe with some of these Big 8 teams, because there's no talent shortage in the Big 8 again this year. It's going to be a long battle, I think, to see who kind of emerges from the Big 8.
Yeah, and it's a guard-heavy Big 8. I mean, you talk about a kid like Storm Murphy at Middleton, and certainly Negus and Peyton at Craig. It's going to be wide open. The Knight kid at Memorial already committed to. He's going somewhere D1, and I know East has got with Justice and Winslow a couple of nice players as well. So I mean, there's talent. I think when you look at the Cougars, they should be right there. I mean, you've got basically all 5 of your starters back with Adam Anhold, Negus, Payton, Lynch, Kramer, certainly Blomgren.
Blomgren started.
Blomgren
I said, hey,
games
you kind of
last-
have like 6 starters.
Yeah, you
back
do,
even.
and you really do.
And even though you lost a 6'10" guy.
And I know Nagobi is a kid that they're really high on. So I think the pieces are there for Craig. I mean, it's just a matter of can they mesh together and can they share the basketball? Because if there's any selfish play on that team, it could be their downfall. They've got to learn to play together, share the wealth, and not be afraid to make that extra pass to when guys are open instead of just worrying about their individual stats. And I think if Mike Miller can do that, I think the Cougars can contend.
I think with that senior group, I think they played together for a really long time. I would think that in their minds, it's now or never mode. I mean, this is their time to put together the season that you've kind of been talking about probably for years, and it's kind of just time to go out and do it.
Yeah.
And on the other side of town at Parker, it's pretty much the exact opposite. A team that lost just about all of the key
50 points a game they lost.
Lost all of their key scorers and starters, almost all of them from a year ago. I think the only returning starter is Jaden Ellis.
And he was a part-time starter. And I think when you look at Parker, and talking to Keith Miller, love the enthusiasm. I love the enthusiasm that he brings. I love the enthusiasm of those kids because a team that's got Ed Jacobson and Malik Williams, they're going to work hard. And, the Vikings, not a lot of experience, a lot of scoring, so to speak, but guys that are going to play hard. They're going to be defensive. They're going to make life tough down the lane, with Malik and Ed. And I think the guards are going to be the key for them. Keith's excited about what they're going to bring to the table, but it could be a long season for Parker just because, the Big 8 is that good, and Parker just doesn't have any scoring right now. They've got to have somebody emerge as a scorer or, you're not going to win games in the 30s in the Big 8. It's just not going to happen, and I think Keith knows that. But, again, I think like the girls, I think a team that by the end of the year is going to be better. And that, he talked about when we had our little preseason talk, we've got to learn to finish. It can't always just be about being in games. They were down to Middleton 4 points last year. Middleton was ranked 3rd in the state at the time. They lost Memorial by 8. Memorial won their 13th straight conference title, but he said we got to learn to finish. He says we can't just be in games. We've got to finish them, and until they learn to do that, one win last season, and I'm sure if they could get to 4 or 5 this year, it would be a good progress for that program.
Sounds good. How about other teams around here that we should have our eyes on? I would think a team like Turner with Alec Fruin back, our player of the year from last year. A team like Evansville with Brennan Banks. Who else should be on our radar?
Well, those are the two that I started with. Certainly Evansville, the favorite to dethrone East Troy in the Rock Valley North with 4 starters back with Brennan Banks and Milky and Reese and Mogg and a couple of freshmen that Steve Krupke is very high on in the mix as well. They're a little beat up right now. Reese had knee surgery following the football season, so he's not going to be with them right away. But I think when all the pieces are there, they're going to be a team to look out for. Currently ranked, I think, 4th in the smaller school preseason rankings. And I did a little research in my area preview. The last time the area had a team in the state tournament other than Division I, which was Beloit in 2009, but the last team before that was Lake Geneva Badger in 2009 in Division II. So it's 1999 in Division II. So it's been a while since the area's been represented at state, and I think Evansville this year with a good chance to maybe break that streak and get a team up there. But like Steve Krupke said, it's not easy. You got to be good, which they are, but you got to get some breaks along the way. And that
sectional is usually pretty tough.
Loaded.
I'm going to guess that.
Yep.
I'm going to guess there's going to be a lot of
good teams in there.
So
but with those 4 starters back, and I think in the bottom half in the South, Turner. Although Clinton won't be bad, Cole Shahan and some other kids back for them as well. A lot of those football kids, but I think Turner's the favorite with Villarreal and certainly Alec Fruin, who is going to end up as that program's all-time leading scorer before this season's over, barring injury or something like that. But other than that, I think it's too early. Alex Easterday at Elkhorn, first team all-conference last year in the Lakes. He's back. Elk's got a little bit of size, but it's going to depend on their guard play.
You
Delavan
think-
with the first-year coach.
Right.
It's hard to say.
Badger is going to run their chaos, and
Yep,
it's probably going to
yep.
give some teams some fits at times, I would think.
But Badger losing Bearhorst is going to hurt
Yep.
because that kid did everything for them. And then I think when you look at the Melton Redhawks, a young team, they only won one game last year, and they lost 4 starters. They're kind of in the same boat as Parker. They lost all their scoring. And with Stoughton in the south, which is going to be good, and Monona Grove, which has got some talent back, it could be a tough year for the Redhawks.
Got the challenges out there for them.
Yep.
New coaches also. Parkview has a new coach.
Yep.
Delavan, you said. Any others? Edgerton?
That I came across, Edgerton with Daryl Fox under his first year. A couple of starters back with Zymet and Jake Fox, but again, you got Evansville, East Troy, McFarland who are going to be good. So again, for Edgerton and Whitewater, just a matter of I think being competitive is the key for them.
Sounds good. That'll get you started on the high school season. We got hockey starting. We got some other things coming up, but
Yep.
I would think it's Thanksgiving time. It's kind
Yeah,
of
this is
getting your
kind of
mind on basketball a
Yep,
little
this
bit.
is kind of the last weekend before the stuff really kicks in. I mean, there's a couple of holiday basketball tournaments that the Parker boys and Craig girls and Parker girls are in, and 2 in Brookfield, and the Parker boys go down to the Rockford tournament. But other than that, pretty quiet weekend, and then we kind of start in mass next Tuesday with hockey and some other sports starting to get underway as well.
What about, I saw some scores and stuff, but wasn't really around for the state football championships. Any surprises or takeaways from that you saw?
Well, Darlington got there for the 4th straight year and lost. The Redbirds, and I think what happens there is they find out that it's not their fault. It is what it is, but that schedule, it's so soft during the year of their conference that I think it comes back and hurts them. Kimberly, with their 4th straight state title, ran their nation-long winning streak to 56, trailed 14-0 at half, and then just took over in the second half. Brookfield East and Monona Grove, probably the best game of them all. I think 5 of the 7 teams I picked to win state won state. So I guess in that respect, I'm happy about that. But some good games, and for the first time in a long time, some great weather. I mean, the weather was perfect both days, and it was good to see. Monona Grove, Brookfield East was a really good crowd at Camp Randall. So a good way to wrap up the season. We'll have our all-area team out a week from Sunday, and probably the all-conference out this week. So a lot of kids in the area got much needed recognition throughout the state and certainly in their own conferences.
Sounds good. Well, that'll kind of put the wraps on the high school part of this.
Yep.
Couple of things to mention also this weekend locally. The Whitewater Warhawks continue their football run.
Wittenberg out of Ohio.
Second round game over at Perkins Stadium on Saturday. So
Yep, noon start at Perkins.
they're kind of just going next man up and finding a way to get it done.
And get over there and watch. The Badgers play at 2:30, so get over there and watch the Warhawks. You can come back and catch most of the Badger game after that.
And the Janesville Jets here in town, Wednesday night and Friday night. They're kind of
Wednesday, Friday night against Austin, and then they head on the road on Saturday to play Cooley Region. So a three game weekend for
kind of a tough
the
one.
Jets.
They go to Alaska for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They sweep all the Alaska teams.
Yep.
Run their winning streak, I think, now to 7 games.
I think it's 7. You're right.
And got to come back, play Wednesday, Friday, on the road
On
Saturday.
the road on
so
Saturday, yes.
no rest for the weary there.
No,
but you would think maybe some of the momentum of the street.
I don't know how
might
much
be
of
able
their
to carry
green bean
over.
salad they're going to be having on Thursday because they got 2 big games after that.
I'd load up.
I'd load up
and
too.
then just take a long nap before
That's right.
Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or watch the show, one of the 2. Take your pick.
both of it. But yeah, you get down to the ice arena on Wednesday or Friday night. They're playing the Austin Bruins.
Yes, they are.
So that'll be down there. And more on the state level, I guess the Badgers taking care of business on the football field.
Yep.
Hopefully they do that against Minnesota. I saw a fun tweet this week. Somebody tweeted out, maybe they've done this the last couple of years, but I saw it again. Nobody from Minnesota has ever been able to tweet that they beat Wisconsin in football because the last time it happened, Twitter wasn't invented yet.
Wasn't around yet. No,
So
and let's hope it's another year of the same thing because that puts us in the Big Ten championship game. And if things pan out the way I think they will, I think Ohio State beats Michigan at home, and I think Penn State, finds a way to beat Michigan State. That puts the Badgers in the Big Ten title game against Penn State, which I like our chances.
Gotta have a chance there.
I like our chances, and if that puts us number 4 in the playoffs and we got to play Alabama, I don't care.
Give it a go.
I don't care because if you'd have told me before the year we were in the football championship, I'd have said you're crazy. What are you smoking?
I would have said top 25.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't care.
We were talking about this team.
I don't care if Alabama beats us 40-0. If to say that we were in the Final Four would be insane. just insane.
I mean, we were thinking like 7-5 or 8-4.
Yeah, and we're not close. I mean, we're close to maybe having that opportunity. And, who knows? Maybe we could sneak into that 3 spot and not have to play Alabama right away, and maybe we gear up against Ohio State again. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It'd be cool to see 2 Big Ten teams in that mix, and you may see that still.
One game at a time, though.
Yep.
Let's make sure we get the axe back here.
Let's get the axe back where it belongs.
Where it's been for
Send them
ages.
Gophers back into their hole, and they can go hang out in Minnesota, do what they want to do.
What about the basketball team? Obviously, they had the loss to Creighton. They kind of gave up a big lead to Tennessee out in Hawaii, but got it done. I mean, any worries about this team, or just kind of thinking that maybe just a little early season?
Well,
getting it together?
I think as long as we don't fall in love with the 3-point shot, which we've done a couple of times now, and certainly against Creighton we did with 39 of them. Find a way to get Happ involved, because I think he's a difference. I mean, Nigel's going to get his points. Koenig's pretty explosive, and he's nice. And the kid I really like is Trice. I think Trice is going to be a real good addition. He's very very mature for a freshman, and he makes things happen when he's on the court. And, I think the rest of them are going to find their roles, whether it's Thomas or Iverson or whoever it is, Ilkanen, but I think your starting 5 is pretty solid. A good test tonight against Georgetown, and then hopefully maybe a shot at North Carolina in the championship game, which would be pretty cool for this time of the year to play them, because that's a good test always. And you know me, I don't like Roy Williams, so anytime I get a chance to
there was ever any love lost between Badger fans and Roy Williams.
No, So I mean, and it's a long season. I don't worry about rankings too much right now. I just want them to get ready for the Big Ten, and I think they're headed in the right direction. I mean, there's worse places to spend Thanksgiving than Maui.
Right.
I can't think of any, but there probably are.
I could
Packers.
I could think of a few, but I'm not.
I don't know what to be thankful for with them. They're just. It's kind of painful to watch right now, and you and I aren't diehard Packer fans, so I can't imagine what it's like for those people that are. But the secondary's terrible.
Everyone's hurt.
Everyone's talking
about. It got
to
a point in that game where there were guys getting hurt that I had never even heard of before, which is never a good sign.
Rodgers, now they want to talk about him not talking to his family in a couple years, and I mean there are so many distractions on that team right now that it's crazy. And
thanks to The Bachelor for that.
Yeah, it's just a matter of, can they right the ship? I mean, and that's the bottom line. I mean, they got 6 games left. They're 2 games behind either Detroit or Minnesota, depending on what happens with those 2 on Thursday. And another tough task on the road at Philadelphia, a team that really was playing well. They've stumbled a little bit lately, but you just keep thinking they're going to snap out of it, and they don't.
Well, and I think Kirk Cousins showed, all you got to do is send your receivers deep, and if you can hit on 1 or 2 of them, you're going to take the top off, because there's nobody back there to cover.
Big plays are just killing them. I mean, Micah Hyde looks like he's never guarded anybody in his life, and it's kind of, like I say, if you're a Packer fan, which you and I are kind of on the fence, I don't dislike them, I don't like them, I just have to know about them because that's my job, but it's got to be painful for Packer fans, and I know our co-worker Tom Miller wrote about it today, just saying, Packer fans aren't used to this. They haven't had a losing season since I think 2008, and it's not something they're accustomed to. And 4-game losing streaks in Green Bay are unheard of. I mean, just unheard of. So they got 6 weeks to turn around, and right now I don't think they wouldn't be in the playoffs right now.
No, and they've got chances to kind of battle back if they can beat their division foes,
right.
But you got to get some guys healthy, I think, in order to get there, because the other teams are getting a little healthier. They seem to be, I think the Lions for sure, getting a little momentum going. But, I mean, it's kind of now or never.
It is. And like I say, you can point the fingers at Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers is not the problem. It comes down to that defense has got to be – they got to shore up the defense and make plays. Somebody's got to start making plays on defense. Matthews was back the other night and was a non-factor.
Right. We'll see if they can get it together. Yep. It's not till Monday night this
Monday
week.
night, yeah.
They've had some Thursdays lately. They've got Sunday nights.
Right,
I mean, now they play Monday. Maybe Monday night.
Maybe some of that Monday night magic. The Brett Favre magic will come back on Monday.
We shall see. Hopefully you'll be rested from your cream corn
yes,
dinner by then.
And you'll have green bean asparagus left over.
That would be interesting. I could use some asparagus.
There you go.
Anyways, that's the show for this week. Let us know what you thought. Sports at GazetteExtra.com, or leave a comment on Gazette Extra or on YouTube or iTunes or Twitter.
Wherever you'd like.
Thanks to Dave Vaughn for producing the show and Kevin McLeod for the tunes. And we hope that everybody has a great Thanksgiving out there.
Take care, everybody. Go Bucky.